So hello students, welcome to EduTap. Today we are going to talk about 5 key takeaways from NABARD Grade A 2023 that can help us prepare better for NABARD Grade A 2024. So let's jump into this video. So see, first if I talk about the whole examination, current affair this time was the section that would have made the deal for you or break the deal for you. So current affair was the key to crack NABARD Grade A 2023. If I talk about the ARD, but ARD have kept the trend of keeping the static syllabus more alive. So they have continued this trend and we have seen again more questions were asked from the static portion in ARD. If I talk about especially phase 1, overall the trend was followed, right, if going by the past year. But the difficulty levels of the question in each section, almost each section was increased. If I talk about phase 2, the descriptive question asked this time were completely different from the past year and they have not even followed the trend. So I'll tell you how, and let's talk a little about every point that I'm telling you so that you have a better idea of what I'm saying. For now I have given you just the gist, right? So first if I talk about the current affair and the ARD part, so let me tell you, this is the trend that we have seen. If I talk about the ESI, your 37 questions were from only current part, right? So current is here. If I talk about the ARD, we have seen 10 questions were from the current part. If we talk about GA, we have seen 18 questions being from the current part. If you calculate it all or so, and you will be able to see that around your 65 question out of 100 were only from the current part in phase 1. I'm only talking about phase 1 right now, right? So this you will have to see. If I talk about the ARD here, so ARD mein we have seen 30 question were from the static part out of 40, right? So keep in mind 65 here just by current affair and 30 by ARD static. It give you idea that to clear the phase 1 where you need to focus more on, I would not suggest you to not do other subject, but yes, to focus more on the ARD static and the current affair was the key, right? Now if you have gotten the good marks here around 30-35 and you can score decently around 20-25 here, you could have easily cleared the phase 1. So this you will have to keep in mind. If I talk about similarly on paper 2 of phase 2, and objective mein we have seen your there are 2 marker question and 1 marker question. So although 30 question are there, the marks distribution can be a little leaning toward one subject. So we will talk in the terms of marks. So we have seen 28 marks out of 50 marks were allocated to your current part and 22 marks out of 50 were for the static part. Static part was heavily around 95% question from your static part. So around 20-21 question around were your only from the ARD static part. And if I talk about here in the current affair, it was combination of ARD and ESI, right? But again, major question were from the ESI part only. So this you will have to keep in mind, right? So now let's jump into the topic that were asked. So this was our third learning, that if I talk about the trend in terms of important topic, that trend was followed. So let me tell you, in the ARD we always say soil and water is an important chapter, there erosion is an important topic. So question were asked from the erosion. You can go check the videos where we have discussed the important topic. Erosion is clearly mentioned there. We always say MSP is important, so question was asked from the MSP. We say agronomy is very important, the storage part is very important, the question has been asked from that part. If I talk about the schemes, we always say go for the schemes that are in news and that are flagship. The combination of that means the scheme will become utmost important. Priority should be given to the the scheme that are recently in news. So we have seen Manrega. Every year at least 1 to 3 questions have been asked from the Manrega, and this year also the question was asked. Similarly, if I talk about the scheme in news, so PM Shri, the question was there. Swachh Bharat Mission, they have asked the question. In the, if I talk about paper of 2020, they have asked question on Swachh Bharat Mission, right? So this time phase 2 the question was asked. So the trend, if I talk about the important topic, was followed for each section except your computer. कंप्यूटर में ट्रेंड वॉज अ लिटिल डिफरेंट, डिसीजन मेकिंग में से में भी ट्रेंड वॉज अ लिटिल डिफरेंट, बट फॉर मेजॉरिटी एंड फॉर ऑल द सब्जेक्ट्स ऑफ द मेरिट सेक्शन द ट्रेंड वॉज फॉलोड इन टर्म्स ऑफ important chapter. But the difficulty level, if I talk about, it was clearly increased for most of the subject. Here it will give you idea that except the quant and reasoning, if you compare it with the last year, so English level was a slight increase in the difficulty level in terms of the length of the question was increased, the paper was much lengthy, right? Decision making, if I talk about the level of difficulty, major question were moderate, but yes, some difficult questions were also included. Similarly, if I talk about computer knowledge, we have seen same trend. The level was clearly the difficulty level was clearly increased. General awareness, difficulty level was clearly increased. If I talk about the ESI, clearly the difficulty level was increased, but here one you will have to see still the question were more from the moderate level, but yes, more question, 1-2 more question compared to last year were increased in the difficult section. Same trend was followed for the ARD part. But how did they do that? When the topic they have asked is same, then how they are increasing the difficulty level? They are not asking something totally we didn't expect or something totally out of syllabus. So let me tell you how they are doing it. We do say erosion is important, so they have given the question in the erosion part, but usually they give the question from the how to prevent the erosion. This time they have given a feature and they have asked what type of erosion is this. Same if we talk about the MSP, they usually talk about the this price or what, but yes, institution, although it is recommended, but some student what they do, they just read about how many crops are there, what on what crop MSP has been given, and they just take it like that. But this time they have asked about the committee, although in every video we do repeat MSP related committees, right? Same if I talk about the agronomy, or if I talk about your storage unit. So usually when they give the question, it is based on the instrument used, or they will give the question related to what kind of structure is used. This time they have gone and asked about the moisture percentage of the food grain. So a different type of question, and a little in-depth question was asked this time. And if I talk about the scheme, you see, if we talk about the Manrega, the wages are so okay, they are expected. If I talk about the sunset date, somewhat expected. But if I talk about the question third from the scheme that you are able to see, you see, when the student they read about the launch year, they read about the objective, they read about the ministry. Nobody, especially for the phase 1, goes in depth and read about okay, where the spending will be done, what the component of that particular spending, right? Even if they read, they forget. But this time we have seen NABARD again played on this, and they have given the question related to that. So you can see the question in your screen also. Now coming to the next learning, here you will have idea if we talk about for your phase 2. So phase 2 के descriptive में we have seen the trend was utterly changed. If we talk about year 2022, we have seen only 2 questions were subjective, or not subjective, static in nature, and 4 questions were either completely current affair or heavily dominated by the current affair. Even the 15 marker compulsory question was from the ARD current part, right? But this time we have seen 100% of the questions that were there, all 6 questions were dominated by static part. Some were 100% static, as you can see this particular question. Agriculture marketing, completely static. If we talk about the extension education, its feature also completely static. If we talk about agroforestry, completely static, right? So they were 100% static. Although the other question that you are able to see that are somewhat combination of static and current, they also required you to have a good knowledge of the static part of in the question that is asked. So that is why we will say for phase 2 paper 2 descriptive, we have seen the trend was completely changed. So these are all the things you will have to keep in mind. Rest, again, if we talk about descriptive English, the trend was kept almost same type of question were there were essays, there were précis, there was letter on the expected lines. One was from agriculture, philosophical question. So that is why I have not included, because it was again on the trend. Difficulty level, if we talk about the descriptive English, was easier because the difficulty level here was increased for the paper 2. So NABARD overall, if we talk about this year paper, was somewhat more difficult especially if we talk about the ESI, ARD, GA, this type of part, right? So with this we will have to see whenever you are preparing your examination, you will have to first see the trend of past year. Then what you will have to do, you will have to cover the same topics that we have discussed, but this time you will have to cover the topic in depth, right? The second advice I'll give you is, whenever you are preparing, at the beginning, don't go and be like, okay, this is something I'll read and this is something I'll not read, because the question have not been asked. You never know in a competitive examination when and from where the question has been asked. If it is in your syllabus, it is recommended that you cover it, right? So with this I'm going to close this video. Now if you're preparing for 2024 and you have any kind of question related to this, don't worry, we have one-stop solution for all your query, be it related to NABARD, be it related to NABARD exam, be it related to your PYQ or the syllabus too. So you will get everything in this guidebook, and the best thing is this guidebook is absolutely free. You will just have to go in the description box, check out the link, register yourself and download this particular guidebook. Now if you're preparing for 2024 and you're preparing, you're looking for some quality courses, so we have two courses, that is our gold pack and silver pack. In the gold pack you will get complete hand holding for phase 1, phase 2 and interview, and in the silver pack it is for the people who, let's say, you have done some subject of phase 1, like you have done quant, you have done reasoning, you have done English, you don't need help in that. So silver pack is particularly catering to the student who are more worried about the phase 2 and selective subject in the phase 1, like ESI you don't know, ARD you don't know, current affair ke liye you are worried. So you will get complete hand holding there. You will get complete hand holding for phase 2 and interview. You can also download the free sample material. Don't miss something if it is free. So I would recommend you go in the description box, at least check out the free sample material. So that will be it from my side. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you want the PDF of this video, you will get that in the Telegram channel, right? So that will be it. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.